Alrighty, here we are. Good morning, good evening, and good afternoon, and welcome everybody to Zelda, A Link to the Past Randomized. These are tournament settings. Tournament settings means that basically there are 4 or 5 different tournament modes which can be selected for us to race against, well, our opponents. And this one here is one of the modes that I'm very much not particularly familiar with, called Ambrosia. It's basically a combination of inverted and ambrosia, as well as big key shuffle. So the short version is, Zelda Link to Past Randomized basically in short means that items are randomized. You might find a big key to Thieves' Town in Link's house, or you might find a sword somewhere where it normally isn't, but that's kind of the entire point of randomizer. Basically, stuff is just randomized all over the place. And inverted means, in this case, that we're going to be starting in the Dark World. So, basically, Dark World Link's location house or Dark World Sanctuary. Which, well, starting in the Dark World has kind of the challenge that everything is a little bit trickier to get to, it feels like, and there's really not as many locations just generally available. So let's see how this is gonna go. And DJ Carmichael, thank you. Thank you so much for the raid, and welcome everybody. I hope you're doing well. Thank you so much. And I would suggest, let's go. For anybody who is curious, this is the second practice asynchronous seed that somebody created for our document, so we can actually see how well we do against other opponents. We also start with a sword. I kind of forgot to mention that. Let's get started. So I like to start in the Dark Chapel because this is relatively close to Skull Woods, which basically is a guaranteed way of getting bombs. And bombs early on is one of the more important parts. Plus, even though this is the Dark World, the 3-pool actually still exists up here, which I wasn't quite aware of. So we need to kill one enemy to make the 3-pool tier 1, and it's small magic. The ledge over there doesn't have anything interesting. And the pig actually dropped a heart, which I think means that is the hard item pool, so they don't drop anything useful either. So that's our beginning. Then we just keep moving. Try to avoid these wiggly bags. We have 3 health. These things deal 2 hearts of damage, so you really don't want to get hit by them. Alrighty, and then I tend to just go ahead. Knock out these guys. Ooh, bombs, thank you. One of the more important aspects of starting out the randomizer seed is having some form of a weapon, which in this case we start with a sword, which is nice. But the bomb definitely helps as well, because that allows you to open up various walls and stuff. Right, that guy's in the way. Mummies are 2 hearts of damage. Skeletons are only 1. Alrighty, we get 1 item out of Skullwoods. That is the wrong button. Skullwoods is 6. And then we're getting out of here. I'm intentionally not going to go and grab the small key under the pot, because even though it would make starting slightly faster, it could make the dungeon overall a bit more awkward later on. Plus, if I'm lucky, we might just find a small key over here anyways. Oh wait, I did this wrong. Okay, so because this is practice, I'm actually gonna go around outside and do this right. So, because this is inverted, and often at this point you don't have bombs yet. So, what you want to do is you actually want to drop down here. And there's 2 bombs right here. Then you take a death. Continue, and the bombs are back. If you have a mirror, that might actually speed this up here. Also, I'm curious, are there any other items in these pots here? There's a heart. There's small magic. Small magic actually might be important too. Small magic at the bottom and the top center. Alrighty. Then I would walk down here. See that we don't have a small key. This is just a compass. And drop down into the gap over there. So this is what I should do if I don't forget. Alrighty, there's 3 more chests we can get in this dungeon. We would normally guaranteed have 4 bombs with this strategy. Grabbing this. I'm opening the chest later because it makes holes appear everywhere, which make navigating a bit more awkward. And since I always want to go the other way around as well, well, that would make it too awkward. We did get a small key, which we don't necessarily need. We did get another small key, which we don't necessarily need. But we could actually use those small keys in order to get out of here and just walk to the town. Oops, that's not right. Actually, let me think about this. Basically, if I don't walk out of here and go to town, I guess there's not really a good way to do this, is there? So basically, what I'm just thinking is there's not really a particularly good way of handling the early game here. We get a glove, that is our first actual progression item. Which allows us to pick up rocks. Doing this. I missed. I definitely don't want to waste boxes early on. That is very unhealthy for my, well, means to progress. We did get a little bit of money, so that can help. More money, that's nice. 5 rupees. Full heart container and a heart piece. So, the reason why starting at Link's house like this, it might not be particularly great, is because we actually cannot get up. And by up, I mean we cannot get up to... the village of Outcast, the city on the left side, from here, because there are heavy rocks in the way. We can get 2 more item locations, and we actually can get rupees. So if we only had 20 rupees, or if we didn't have much money at all, I think this is the fine way to do this. For example, we have just 20 rupees here. We would be able to play the archery minigame in order to get more money. And in fact, I'm just gonna do this for practice, because everything right now is in the name of practice for me. Sure, I'm technically going to lose time compared to the other people who run this asynchronously, but I just want to practice. So, basically, you just see where the little squid is against the curtain, and you just kind of hit the button at approximately the same time. You can actually get more money out of this if you hit the same squid with all 5 arrows. Instead of 64 rupees at the end, you get 99, which is not really that big of a deal to get that at just 99, which also makes it a lot harder, but it's a fair bit faster too. Alright, we can't really get back from here unless we get a Titansmiths, so Titansmiths or save and quit from here. I think anyways. Also, this minigame here costs 80 rupees to play, which is why money in the early game is kind of important. Oh, a hammer. Okay. Hammer actually is very interesting. You don't have him in Pearl yet, though. The hammer allows us to get access to the light world through the traditional methods where the dark world portals normally are. I really don't know if this is a good route in the early game, because I'm kind of starting a Sanctuary, going to Skullwood, saving, quitting to Link's house, and then going the other way. I guess it's just the most consistent route for getting both bombs and then everything out of the hype cave and stuff. We get a Bombus medallion. We do have a sword, so we can actually use it. In case you didn't know, you actually need a sword in order to use medallions. Otherwise it doesn't work. Also, if we need more bombs, there is a 50-50 chance for that bush to have a bomb and this one to have a bomb. And both of them had a bomb today, so that's lucky. There's 300 rupees right here, so that kind of removes all of our money worries early on. 50-50 and 50-50. That's super lucky to get all 4 bombs right there. It's kind of to counterweight the times where I had to just keep resetting until I get the 50-50. Alright. This minigame here costs us 30 rupees to play. And the 30 rupees really is not much normally when you come here in a regular randomizer, but it is quite a lot when you do this kind of randomizer. So, now, I know there are bombs in some of these pots in here. So if I wanted to go Thieves Town instead of Skull Woods for the first 4 chests here, I know some of these pots have bombs in them, I just don't remember which ones. So let me actually look this up, because I don't remember. Zelda, the town map. This map does not have the items under the pots. Or does it? No, it does actually. Open image, new tab. It's a little bit blurry, but I can see. So let's see. There's 1 bomb all the way over there, 1 bomb all the way over there. Alright, let's just in case we need more bombs. Like, we desperately need more bombs because, well, I don't know, I goofed or something like that. So what I can do is we can go over here. And go all the way down here for 1 bomb. How did I kill both of them? What? Alright, we get 1 bomb over there. And then there is another bomb. Technically just opposite of that. That's a heart. Technically just opposite of that area. Wait, how do you even get over there? Oh, I see. So what I would want to do is, if I just need 1 bomb, what I would do is I would go ahead and grab this chest over here. Then we go all the way to the right side over here via this ladder. Go around and then grab the bomb. Okay. In this case, we got a mirror out of Thieves Town. Let me actually just update my marks, which the mirror actually doesn't unlock anything, interesting enough. Not immediately, anyways. And so we just go back to Link's house and continue from there. Alright. Moving on. The hammer apparently is our progression here, which allows us to go over here. Funnily enough, we didn't get any Palace of Darkness small keys, not even 1. Which means we don't actually have access to that dungeon, aside from the very first chest. So Catfish is, by logic anyways, just as attractive as going to Palace of Darkness. Theoretically, I could go to Palace of Darkness earlier. Which I will probably do, because it's 1 chest over there versus 1 chest at Catfish. Fire Rod actually unlocks... Oh wait, no! The small keys are not shuffled. I am... talking garbage. I forgot! The small keys are not shuffled, guys, so that means the small keys are in Palace of Darkness. It's not full key sanity. Either way, this gives us access to also the backside of Skull Woods, and the boss for that matter, which, well, we have 5 hearts, green mail, and a hammer. It's not the most exciting to go over there, but there we go. Alrighty, we paid 10 rupees for Kiki to follow us. Kiki, the little blue monkey buddy. And then we pay Kiki 100 rupees in order to open up this door, which is also another reason why money in the early game inventory is kind of important, which is why you need to know how to do the shooting minigame potentially. In this case, we got a bunch of 300 rupees and 50 rupees, so it's easy enough from that point, but yeah. On the bright side, there are actually bombs in here. Also, this is a apparently pendant. I forgot that we can check the map for things. Get a small key here, and I need to check the map afterwards. Alrighty, small key means that these next two chests here are in logic. Well, I say the next two. This one, and the one if you jump down, is guaranteed in logic right now. Interestingly enough, we don't actually get access to the one on the left here. There have to be 4 small keys in the front 4 chests. The 4 chests on the front also include the ones on the right. There's the second small key we found so far. And unless the chest that normally contains the big key in the vanilla game contains a small key as well, this would be basically locked here. But we have methods and means to get through here. By convincing the Mimic that the wall is not there, and it being really confused when it suddenly sees just entirely grey in its vision, because the wall, well, I guess, just covers half of its vision. Alrighty, that's what we do. Basically, we don't need to kill all the enemies, we just need to have no enemies in the room anymore. And the way this works is the Mimic can walk into the wall for 1 frame. 1 frame is 1/60th of a second. Right, there's one small key. And there's the compass, so we know that there's actually a small key in the big chest, because otherwise it doesn't work out for the logic potentially. Either way, we can convince the Mimic that there is no wall for 1 frame, and it only checks the second frame for whether there may be a wall there. And so effectively, if we turn it against the wall and then back away from the wall, just in time, as in within 1/60th of a second, we can effectively... Oh my goodness. Yeah, please. We can effectively make it so the Mimic just goes slightly further and further into the wall each time you turn it over there. And eventually it just is far enough inside the wall that the game just tries to push it out into the south or north direction, depending on which way it's facing. Right, these chests, by the way, back here are in logic. The rabbi's grocery store is empty. What? There's another small key. And the Titansmiths. So the Titansmiths are in fact in logic. Thanks to the fire. So, wait. This chest down there contains a small key, guaranteed. Unfortunately, I don't have any health, so chances are I will die up here. Oh, wait, the bot is disconnected? Oh, it wasn't. Alright, I goofed. So this is not why I normally have like a reference map of how the room layout looks as an image. There is the map. We don't have the big key, so we can't get the big chest. But what I can do is I can use the Bombus medallion in the dark here to knock out these enemies here. Because 1 hit, I'm dead. I can't see the enemies, they would knock me out easily. And I'd rather just try to get whatever is in the chest here. Alright, managed to navigate. It was really not all that worthwhile, so... That's interesting. We did get a bunch of items out of the Palace of Darkness, though. Specifically, the Titansmiths actually opens up one check in Village of Outcast, which I think is particularly fascinating. There's a bit of a cooldown before you can put something new into the food box. Maybe that's what you're referring to. I don't have a bottle, otherwise we could actually buy a red potion on the shop on the left there if we're going to Skullwoods. It's delicious and then space pie for it to work. Oh. So technically the items I got were in logic after getting the hammer and Titansmiths. Practically not really. Actually, going up Death Mountain is in logic now. Maybe I should do that before going over to Skullwoods. But Skullwoods boss is in logic, so speaking of which... should probably check what is pendant and what is the other thing. You know what? I guess depending on how good my opponent is. If my opponent is really good, I would go immediately to clear Skullwoods right now. But if my opponent is less experienced, I would go ahead and just go up Death Mountain, because safety first. Speaking of safety first, these murder birds deal like 3 or 4 hearts of damage. Let's fill the box with stuff. If you want to have just something random, delicious and space question mark gives you just one of the random items from the food box. I just realized the donate message has a spelling error in there. It doesn't usually get used, so I didn't realize. Oh no. I was reading chat. You're going too fast. Yep, there's just a little cooldown there. Like, that's the individual cooldown, which I think is like a minute F or 2 for each individual user. And then there is the... okay, you can't check that in there. And then there's the, like, global cooldown, which is like 10 seconds between people or something like that. Alright, we brought the old man back home, but we are a bunny. We can't do anything as a bunny. Well, that's not entirely true. We can walk and talk to people, because sometimes it's important. Although, funny enough, we can actually go ahead and pick up this thing. But in case you're confused as to why Celes from Final Fantasy VI is the bunny form of a Moogle, it's because in Final Fantasy VI speedrunning, if you skip getting Celes, which is pretty, well, was or is a pretty common speedrunning method, let's put it this way. Wow, the Moogle looks evil. Which was or is a pretty common speedrunning method anyways, for skipping getting Celes, so to speak. She's replaced with the Moogle that is normally basically in her place in the event where the Moogles help Locke just defend Terra in the early stages of the game. Basically, normally Celes as a character mechanically replaces the Moogle, which is specifically Kutan, by the way, which is why people also say sometimes General Kutan. Because instead of General Celes, it then says General Kutan. So yeah. Basically, Moogle replaces everybody unless you decide to do otherwise. We can open up Turtle Rock. I don't know why we would do so. Because in Inverted, you can actually go the other... Oh my goodness, we can go into Turtle Rock. Oh my goodness, I completely forgot about this part. In Inverted, you can go into Turtle Rock early. Well, not... Oh my goodness, I forgot about this part. Hold up, we can't do that. Wait, no, we can... Oh my goodness, this is... Hang on. Inverted is such a mess if you don't know how it works, and I clearly don't know how it works. So, what we can do is we can jump down here. Moogle doesn't have legs, apparently. Oh my god. We can go down here in order to go into the Dark World. As a bunny, we can't fight, by the way, so these guys are just gonna deal damage. Please, no. I need my health. Alright, so let me through. Okay, so... No, the problem is these two guys. Okay. 10 arrows up there. Just pause buffering to see where they are going. Is this the place I want to jump? No, no, this is the place I want to jump. This is the back of the Turtle Rock laser bridge here. Alright, we're good. Whew. Alrighty, so what we wanna do is open up these chests, and it's kind of tricky to get past these laser eyes, to be completely honest. Oh, there's the moon girl. We can now go into the light world here. Smoky. And bombs. Alright, I actually want to die, so we refill our health, but this is where the moon pearl was. Oh my goodness, I completely forgot about being able to go into the dark world over here. Alrighty, so we do have a mirror, so we can go through this entrance instead. Because now that we have no longer bunny form, which by the way, Celis is the bunny form. Normally when you don't have the moon pearl in A Link to the Past, and you go to the Dark World, Link turns into a bunny. Excuse me. Hence why it's called the bunny form. Right, I think this was kind of a fine idea of mine too. Wow, all three of them got knocked out. Alright. It was a fine idea, I would say, to go up Death Mountain first instead of going Skullwoods, because Skullwoods is just super dangerous with this kind of low HP loadout. Alright. I don't think I've ever accidentally done that before. So basically, real quick, if you want to bomb jump over to the left here, what you can do is you can basically go just so your shadow is just like 1 pixel over the bottom railing here, and then just tap left. Like, I'm literally just tapping left, I'm not gonna be tapping right or anything else, just left. Because, as you can see, the character here just get automatically put back onto the ledge. And then you just place the bomb as soon as your character goes back on the ledge, and it works. Most of the time. The one time it doesn't work is because you picked up an item from one of the mini Muldoms while it was in mid-air. So, basically before it comes to a resting place on the ground. But other than that, it always works. Don't ask me why the item is involved like that, because I don't honestly know. Alright, now we jump down here. I forgot that we can do Mimic Cave. But hey, we're going back into Turtle Rock because there is too much chests we can get here, actually. Hello, welcome to Kishura. Thank you for the good luck. How are you doing today? Similar to Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask bomb jumps. Oh, do they have the weird properties too? Grabbing a small key here. By the way, fun fact, I did an asynchronous, I think, for all dungeon keys for the tournament qualifier, and I accidentally opened that door to the lava room chest. You'd never want to open up that door unless you already have all 4 keys in Key Sanity to that door in particular. If you do, you probably are in big trouble. And it cost me like 15 minutes opening up that door by accident because autopilot kicked in for me. Ah! Scary. Okay, that's all I can do here, because we don't have the big key. Back is itchy. Well, I hope that gets better soon. After I realized that my posture was wrong on the chair because I put an extra pillow on there, my back aches have become significantly better. So that was all on me. So I hope it goes better for you soon as well. Use a sword to slash a few times because slashing towards a ledge which... Oh, right! In Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask you can't fall off a ledge while you're slashing a sword. Like if you meant to go farther. Nice. Right. I remember now. Maybe I should do like a randomizer of Ocarina of Time someday. Or maybe I should just play through Ocarina of Time again someday, because it's been years. So, the big question here is, do I go over to Tower of Hera first? Because I'm right here. I should have actually done this before jumping down the spiral cave. We don't have the big key to Tower of Hera, or no hookshot to skip the big key right now. Also, I didn't check what the crystals were. You can combine the randomizers. Or you can combine them to both. I needed a mirror here, that would have been faster. I think I've heard of the combo randomizers, but I didn't realize those were actually released yet. Alright, we got a small key, so I guess we're going into the basement. The only render you've done is to start off in a Link to the Past one. You don't have a... You love it? Nice. Honestly, the most I've watched Ocarina of Time randomized is just ZFG doing the no-logic ones, and that is always fascinating. I tend to watch the VODs, usually, rather than the highlights. Because it's so crazy how much knowledge he has of that game and how many crazy things he can do. As well as just knowing where and what to do and what to go. And honestly, the banters with the chat are quite fun to witness as well. Oh, right. This was not where we needed to go. Oh, I forgot this is Ambrosia. There's always an item on the boss, Jäger. You should know that. I do know that. I just forgot. Ambrosia just kind of messes with my head every time, because it's such a subtle change where the boss always has a unique item and not a key or anything else, that I tend to forget about it until later. Quick medallion. Alright, that technically can be required. Thank you, sure. DJ Carmichael is really good. Watch him every night. Can agree. Make sure to follow DJ Carmichael. I have to admit that I haven't managed to watch him recently, but he has done a variety of things, among other things like Hitler's Dark Souls, Elden Ring, and all sorts of challenges, which... Man, no hit is brutal. I don't think I would be interested in doing those in particular myself. I'm fascinated to watch them though. I'd rather play hardcore in Terraria, actually. Hey Yaga, this is Ambrosian, the boss always has an item. Thank you. I appreciate it. Also, hey Yaga, if you want to go to the mushroom, you should go the other way around through the Lost Woods here, because this is the long way around. This is super inefficient the way you're doing this. But you know what? This is exactly what I'm practicing here, because it just kind of makes me realize all these inefficiencies that I'm doing, or would be doing if the route just kind of requested it. So there's that too. Ooh, flippers. Flippers open up. Ice Palace. We haven't checked the bush crabs yet because they're only in the light world. And the small magics. That's okay. You know, I should have just gone for the boss while I was over there in the Lost Woods at Skullwoods. That actually would have made this more efficient. Oh my goodness. There's a big key over there. It's entirely possible that big key is not required. Plus we need the boots in order to get it first anyways. But, oh well. I love how the Moogle just jumped backwards there. Slanted ledges. How do they work? Meow, meow, meow. So yeah, this is another thing there. Initially I was just kind of harping on myself that, hey Yaga, you really should not go that way around. That is inefficient. And now I'm just more in the vein of, hey Yaga, if you do go that way around, just make sure if you have a mirror, just do the rest of Skullwoods too, because you're right there, just mirror. From the light world to the dark world. It's very confusing. Also, by the way, because normally you mirror in order to get up here, in inverted they just put a ladder here. It makes sense. More bombs. Now the awkward part is here that we're right here to jump down the hole here, but walking back outside is kind of really slow, so I shouldn't do that part. Honestly, this is where I'm completely lost in it. Like, where do you even begin going for things? Like, what is an efficient route? A miserable pile of secrets. But enough talk. Thank you. Wait, why did that thing drop a rupee? Was that 2 rats at the same time? 2 rats in a trench coat. In case you're wondering, you cannot, in fact, go all the way back to Hyrule Castle from here, because the door is closed on this side. And if I mirror, I would go back to where I jumped into the hole in that area. I guess going South Shore is fine with this amount of money and the flippers too. Also, fun fact, you need the book in order to get into Desert Palace in Inverted. This is another thing that I tend to only remember whenever it comes up just now. But I'm like, oh yeah, you can't mirror over there, but you can mirror into Misery Mire, which is a pendant. And I couldn't get far anyways because I don't have a hookshot or boots to cross the initial gap. Oh hey look, armor upgrade. Always take an armor upgrade. Unless it's too far out of the way, I guess. I'm gonna be lazy here. Actually, no, because I have a Master Sword, which is reasonably quick. Got him. This is our first big key to Eastern Palace. We just need a bow in order to clear Eastern Palace at this point. But there's also one more item check available now over there if we want to go there. Now the question is, what's the most efficient method of doing this entire ordeal here? If I want to go to Zora in the end. Hey, there's the King of Samaria. That was flipper locked effectively. Hello, welcome to you, Mirthas. I hope you're doing well. How's it going today? So, the King of Samaria was flipper locked. And this is also flipper locked, at least by logic. Both of these, technically, there's methods and ways to get them without flippers. But practically speaking, they're flipper locked. Now, the big question is, Ice Rod Cave is super far out of the way, and there's not really actually a way you can even flute over there, so should I just go to that one location in the Ice Rod Cave? Because there's so many other places. And to answer my own question, I think what I should have done is I should have gone to Kakarika first, because there's so many items over there, so many chests and item checks that I could immediately do, that it would make probably most sense just go and do those. And then pursue the remainder of the areas. But yeah, this is where the inexperience with inverted routing comes into play, where it's just like, I'm probably doing stuff okay-ish, but I'm not optimizing this at all because I have no idea how. Big key to Turtle Rock. It's actually one of the big keys we absolutely need, so good thing I did go over here, but it might not come up until way later. I still think going over to the other side earlier would have made more sense. But hey, look at the bright side, we got a King of Samaria, so we can relatively easily just do Ice Palace. Oh, it's a pendant. Wait, I mismarked stuff. No. Daga, please. This is a pendant. I don't know what the other pendants are then. Oh well, we're going into Ice Palace anyways. So I would not go in here if I realized this was... If I realized this was a not pendant dungeon. Wait, no, the other way around. I wouldn't go in here if I realized this was... And that works. Cool. a pendant, that way around. But oh well. Also remember, Jäger, this is Ambrosia, one item is always on the boss. We do not have the big key, so this dungeon is potentially big key locked anyways. As well as could be hookshot locked. There we go. So what I did there is basically I tricked the game into thinking that doorway from the left room to the right, to this room was longer than it actually was, because I was presumably just entirely in the Kino-Samari block. Don't actually take my word for it on how that works technically, because I'm actually not sure that's how it is, but that's just how I understand it. Man, zombies smokies. Wait, I can... hold on. I think at this point it's more efficient to go this way around. To go into this door down here. Because this chest would otherwise I would have to drop down to the boss area and then come back up all the way the awkward way around. And since there were 2 items left anyways, and I can only open one of the chests on the left side here, it just feels like this made more sense. Ow. Ow. I'm not smart. Let me in. Bonking enemies against spikes actually deals damage to them. I didn't put the bomb down. Just go into that corner, face to the right and lay down a bomb, and the bomb jumps you across every time. Misery Meyer, Becky, we don't want that one actually. Because it's pendant. No. Since I'm already in here, I'm gonna go ahead and defeat, or try to defeat Cold Stash. The problem being, of course, I don't have the most amount of resources, but I'll certainly try. So instead of using 8 fire rod shots, we use bombers, and then we bonk the Cold Stare collective into the top left corner. Because if you bonk it top left corner, you can actually hit all 3 puffs with 1 fire rod shot pretty reliably. Whereas if you bonk them to the top right, it is much less reliable. This was the green pendant? I need to check them out, guys. This would be a disaster, by the way, if I... So what I should have done is I should have immediately get back out of Ice Palace as soon as I realized this was pendant. Okay. Okay, no, actually, the Mystery Mire Big Key we do want. So this, if I did this in an actual race, this would have been a stroke of good luck, because you don't go into Pendant Ice Palace unless you really have to. Like, you just don't do that. So me just kind of getting the big key to Mystery Mire out of there early-ish is potentially like going to save me a lot of time in the long run. Potentially, but probably not. I mean, it could. Who knows? Have a good day at work, Ishura. Thank you for dropping that. Ow. Fun fact, it is faster to swim than it is to walk. Except when you get hit by enemies and have to keep resetting your swimming momentum. Oops. Or you accidentally slash when you get on land. I'm a dingus, I forgot to check catfish while I was over there. So, one of the big reasons why I wanted to take this route to begin with is because I wanted to check catfish along the way. But I completely forgot about the part of it. This is inverted, and I do want to mirror from the light world to the dark world to check catfish. Many mistakes were made in this run so far already, but this is exactly why I need practice. You could also say on the bright side, you can just walk back to visit the witch to deliver the mushroom, because that one is kind of awkward to do in the inverted as well otherwise. Which, I guess. So here's a funny thing we can do now, because we can mirror bonk. This does count as a screen transition. Normally what you need to do is you need to deliver the mushroom, go a screen away, and then come back in order to get the item. So what we can do is we can deliver the mushroom, slash this bush, and mirror on top of it, which there's a bush here in the dark world as well, which immediately mirror bonks us back to the light world, and this counts. You can do it the other way around as well, and mirror bonk. That is a thing. Right, where am I? I guess we can just walk from here. So there's a warp. Then we go to the west from here. Man, my route is messed up. Also, another thing that if I realized that Misery Mire was not a pendant, what I would do is I would have gone over here earlier, because effectively we can get 2 items that are a bit out of the way, plus 2 more at the Misery Mire entrance, and we can see whatever is on the desert ledge, which, as I like to say, seeing an item on the ledge, even if you can't get it yet, is almost as good as being able to get that item. Because the information on what is there, whether it's required or not, is basically as good as it gets. If it's not required, well, you don't have to worry about it. You couldn't get it anyways. Hey, there's a bow. Wow. And the other part is, if you do know there's like a, I don't know, the boots on the desert ledge, then suddenly you know, okay, as soon as I get the book, I can go and get the boots, which it would be nice to be able to grab them immediately, obviously, but it's the second best thing, really. Being able to know where an item is, and as soon as you get the corresponding item to get there, it works. Speaking of the book, we cannot go into desert without it. In inverted anyways. Normally you can mirror to the backside. So here we are. Also, this is where what I meant with, I need to check what medallions required. It is bombos. Okay, that's good to know. We got bombos very early on in this seed. Right, we're gonna save and quit from here, and then finally go to Kakariko Village. And we get a bottle. That is actually kind of nice before going to Kakariko Village, because, well, we kind of need that one in order to get an item from the sick kid. But it's also reasonably likely that we would just get an item somewhere random, anywhere else, really. So let's see. You know what I haven't checked yet? Stun drop. Basically, in vanilla game, you always get a single green rupee whenever you stun an enemy and then kill them. Guaranteed. In Randomizer, what you get is randomized. In this case, it's a small heart, which is really nice actually in a pinch to heal up. Worth noting, I only have 3 bombs, so I should consider buying some. Also worth noting, at this point I would be confident enough to go and clear Skullwoods. Which again, I feel like I should have done this to begin with last time already I was up here, but I forgot. Also, this guy's gonna steal more bombs, isn't he? Unless I go the other way around, then he can't. Haha. Alright, I think we only found one item in Skullwood, so there is one more, which either is in the big chest, which we don't have the big key for, or chest down here. Big key to Ice Palace. Oh no. Well, actually, this is fine. We know there's no more item in the big chest. But this was technically required to clear Ice Palace by the game's logic. At least I assume it is. Just rude random food. Why is that rude? By the way, the hammer only needs 4 hits to defeat the Flutter Moth here, whereas the Fire Rod shot needs 8. But of course the hammer is very short range, which is kind of the awkward part about it. But if you have enough health to just tank through things and hit it reliably, it's really not that bad. Hey, there's an item up, or power upgrade. Bow is progressive in this mode. The bow is progressive in this mode, so me getting the bow out of the desert area earlier was actually not that impactful, because I would have normally-ish gotten it here anyways. I have 1 bomb remaining. Rude. Just other reverse frog message. Oh. The frog put the Takarian into the food box instead of the other way around. And both of you tried to save the frog. Nice. Hey, there is another bottle here. Big key to Dark Palace. That's a good one. Wow. 3 bottles in this cave. We have a blue potion, a red potion, and a fairy. This is almost as good as it gets. Technically, all blue potions would be better, but wow. The bottle cave. Indeed. Not the desert day. Welcome to you, Prof. Ness. I hope you're doing well. Thank you for the bombs. I do appreciate those. Actually, let me just mark these as I go. Otherwise, I'm gonna forget about them again. Boots. Okay. So this is kind of where, sure, my route kind of worked out so far, but going to Kakariko early would have given me boots much, much earlier. Which potentially could be, you know, kind of helpful to do a variety of many things. So where do we go next after this? We could go south, or we could go north. The thing is, I can clear a bunch of dungeons now. You know what? I did not pay attention as to whether I could clear, or I did get the item out of Thiefstone. Yeah, Skullwood, excuse me. So this is a bit awkward. I can clear Eastern. I cannot clear Palace of Darkness. Actually, I can get 1 more item out of Palace of Darkness, I guess. We go north. Bonk rocks. So I want to go to Misery Mire. I want to go to Eastern Palace. And I need an ice. Wait, is the ice route go mode? No, big keys probably still. Big key to Thieves Town. I did get a book, I didn't mark it yet, which means I can clear Desert too. Oh no, I need a big key to the Desert as well. So I think Eastern Palace is the way to go for now. I don't know what's faster, going into the Dark World just south of Link's house, or all the way over here, next to the Dark Palace. Or the Light World, I guess. Are we there yet? Soon. Yeah. I did get a book, thank you. Ow. Do we need hookshot? I guess we don't technically need hookshot, which actually is an interesting point. I need to practice Molten Bonks again, because I can't really hover, but Molten Bonks actually basically my alternative way. Always select hammer here. Also, we did get the green pendant. Bonk. Hi. We get the keenest burnout. This technically unlocks the spike here. Half magic, that's nice, because now we only need half the magic. And always was funny to me when, as a kid, I did not realize what the magic bat was doing, because haha, I curse you with half magic. Whereas actually your abilities now cost half the magic. Which is technically better than getting double the magic bar, because all the items you get refill your magic still the same. But as a kid I had no idea what this was doing, because I just never noticed the difference. Oops. Do I go into pod? Actually, yeah, I do have a bow, so we can... Wait, I do have the big key, right? To Palace of Darkness. I knew that, I just never marked it. I was thinking, why does this map show me that I can't clear the dungeon? In my brain, I was like, oh, I don't have the bow. No, I do have the bow. I just didn't mark the key. So I guess we could clear Palace of Darkness. But as usual, you really don't kind of really don't want to. Because you know it's a pendant dungeon. Then again, I already cleared one pendant dungeon. What's another one? Still need some big keys though. And a hookshot or Tower of Hera big key. That's actually an interesting point I didn't consider until now. Wait, that doesn't deal damage? That skeleton decided to just stay in the sword swing and it didn't damage him. Rude. I was going to bonk into that thing, but he did not allow me to. Into the wall behind the pot. This lags a little bit, but I think it's faster than the damage boost. Unless you're really good at the damage boost, maybe. And I'm not, so... Kill a burn on this. Okay, we get everything out of Eastern Palace and defeat the boss as well. What is the other 5-6 crystals? It is Thieves' Stone, for which we need a big key. So we need 2 more big keys, I think. Big key to Thieves' Stone, and there's a palace. Maybe Tower of Hera. Alternatively, the hookshot will do. And we do need the ice rod. So 1.5 items and 2.5 keys, if you will. We're starting to not have that many locations remaining to visit anymore. We could get all items except for the boss out of Turtle Rock. There's a cape. We know the bumper ledge is nothing, so... Do I go into Palace of Darkness? I'm literally right here. I don't want to. I'm going to get the big key, the big chest, and I'm out of here, I think. There's something in the pedestal? Well, I'll learn about that later. But this is pretty much what I would normally do anyways. That chest on the left contains a small key, in case you're curious. We know that because of how the small keys have to be distributed in this dungeon to guarantee nobody soft locks. Alright. No, that's one tile too high up. There we go. Oh. I might have been slightly too slow, I guess. There we go. Alright, this was not it. There's one item remaining. Let's go to Link's house and... Do we run back from the desert afterwards in order to clean up the remainder of the light world, dark world thing? Probably, actually. We can also run to Link's house afterwards. I just want to clear the dungeons I can clear. But then again, I don't have the big key to desert, so it's a bit awkward to go over there. Maybe I shouldn't do that yet. But at the same time, I can clear Misery Mire. You know, the more I play in Verge, the more I realize that there's just not really a good way to do this, is there? Also, the book allows us to check what's on this tablet here. Oh, there's a big key to Thieves' Stone. We did need that one. Also, a friendly reminder. There's a big key to something on Agina's Ledge. Agina's Ledge? Aganim. Oh, the Lumberjack Ledge, there we go. So, we need one more big key and 2 more items, or something like that. Small key, go to the right side. Oh, you know what? I'm a dingus. We don't have the big key to desert, and it doesn't have to be here. So, what I should do is I should go over here first, because I don't have the big key yet. So the big chest is kind of whatever. And then check what's on the torch. And then we go to the right side, because I'm just gonna mirror out of here afterwards. And of course, it's ambrosia. There is always an item on the boss, so as soon as I get 2 items, we know the last one is on the boss, kind of like here. Alrighty, we need to go down the ladder a little bit. I actually don't know how far. Apparently that kind of works. Was a bit further than necessary though. Then we go into Misery Mire. We can full clear Misery Mire, so well, we will. We know there's 1 item on the boss, so as soon as we find 2 non-dungeon items, we immediately head for the boss afterwards. Ah, goofed. Come on. I'd like to have that one. We could technically go to the big chest immediately on the right side, but the problem with this is that we wouldn't have an easy way to go back. Also just going to use a cape here. I don't want to take too much more damage. There's a compass. We don't need that thing. Two small keys so far, so no dungeon, no unique items. Unique items refers to, by the way, items that are not from the dungeons. Dungeon items are the small keys, big keys, map and compass. Although in this case, because the big keys are shuffled anywhere, any big key we would find would be considered a unique item instead. There is one. You know what I should do? Since there is technically only 1 more item that is not on the boss, we should go back to the right. Because right now I have 3 chances, I think, to find it, as opposed to that 1 long cutscene check that I could make. It's not here, that's one of them not. There we go. Trying to run through that ledge is inconsistent for me, but it's still faster than going around. I should probably practice it sometime. Still not? Nope. It's on the left side, so I guess we go all the way back over there. Alright. So cutscene chest would have been the correct play, but I do think this would have been a fine... Well, was fine routing-wise. It just didn't work out this time. Actually, wait, hold up. Small keys cannot be on the left side over here unless the big key has some influence over it. So, actually, no, I was wrong. I should have done this immediately. Because normally there cannot really be any small keys over here, and I think I already found the map. Actually, no, I found the compass. So in a sense it was a 50-50 between the item and the map, I think. But since it's a 50-50 between 1 and 3 chests, I guess this one would have still been the correct choice. Routing this dungeon is complicated if you try to go into the details. Because I could be completely wrong about my assumptions here. Also, we don't need that item, so unfortunately that wasn't even useful. I do have a fairy in a bottle, I have a red potion in a bottle. I couldn't... Well, actually I can set up the spooky thing here. Oops, come on. Throwing the Kinosamaria block into the void there sets its height value to 255. And the reason why that's relevant... Oops, I moved. The reason why that's relevant is because now the item that is basically in the first item slot, as soon as I shoot it or place it, the short version is the height value is still the same, and I goofed. I need to dash fire rod here. I got it. Basically, the fire rod shot has two parts to it: the projectile that you shoot out, and then the impact point. And for some reason, the impact point is using the height value of whatever was in the item slot previously. So basically, the projectile arrived at the destination as normal and impacted on the anti-fairy, but the height value told the fire rod that its impact point is 255 units higher than that, as in further north. And that happened to be where the crystal switch is, that allows us to switch the switch state. So effectively, I needed to stand all the way at the bottom, because 255 units is a lot, and then go all the way up as quick as possible to make sure the impact point hits the crystal switch in a room north of there. Oh, I just realized I can't go back here. Ha! I forgot about that part. You literally can't walk out of desert outside of going all the way around, so... my routing didn't work out for that. By the way, in case you're wondering why I'm always going to the light-dark world on the left side on that particular warp portal, it's because there's something called a quick warp, where the animation from going into the light/dark world is slightly shortened based on the horizontal coordinate that you enter it from. And I don't know the exact details, but it's called a quick warp on specific pixels. You can sometimes get it randomly, just kind of the animation of that cut short. But I don't actually know most of the setups. I just know that you're going to that warp over there. You basically save like a third of a second or something. So as long as you're reasonably quick about it, going around is actually quite worth it for that purpose of getting a quick light world dark world transition. It's also the reason why you tend to see people bonking at catfish just before they mirror, because that happens to just set up the quick warp perfectly. Also, we're right here. Oh, whoops. I say that, but I don't actually know where to mirror. I guess you mirror here, just to the left of the ladder. Ah yeah, you do. Then you can take Frog Friend with you, which, by the way, is kind of unique to Inverted, that you can do this without having to have the Titan Smiths without glitches. With glitches, you can just sneak by anyways. So we deliver our frog friend here, but not before showing him that he has a matching bat in his front yard. By the way, I'm pretty sure delivering the smith first is more efficient, because... well, no, I need at least 2 more items. I need a big key to Desert and or Hera, as well as Ice Rod, as well as maybe Hookshot. But hey. Did you see that, our little dwarf friend? That bat gave me a sword. He probably stole that from your shop. The bat is a smith too. Maybe it just created the sword itself. Because the swordsmiths... maybe the swordsmiths are just pretending and they know about the bat and they're just exploiting it for its prowess. So there's the purple chest over there now, and I can go and grab that later. Because right now what we're gonna do we're going to go back into Thief's Town, since I can... Actually, yeah, I can fully clear it. Because the small key is in here already. The bat is the real smith and the smiths are stealing. Maybe it's less sinister and more like... Nobody would buy, like, forged weapons from a bat, so the smiths are just helping the bat sell its wares. Basically be the front of the shop or something like that. Which, well, would still be kinda sad in a different way, I guess. Now I want the batsmith. Doesn't Dark Souls 2 have a batsmith? Hammer dashing would be more optimal there, but I forgot about it. Then I was too slow to switch. So here it would be useful if I kept track of how many items I got from Thief's Town already, because then I wouldn't have to open up the menu in order to check. We're also gonna get the 5-6 crystal. Big key to Swamp Palace. That's not the one you wanna see. There's not a whole lot of big keys left at this point. Also, I think the big key to Ganon's Tower is in Ganon's Tower. Alright, we're gonna do... Actually, Neil, I think we can do a really nice route after this. So effectively what we can do is we can... We can go and deliver the big red bomb, check the front of Hyrule Castle, and then immediately do Aghanim's Tower. Wait, no, the Aghanim's Tower is at the top of the mountain, Yagi. This is Ganon's Tower over there. Ah, I thought we could do a nice route, but thwarted again. So, grab the purple chest. As long as I don't have the ice rod yet, it's fine to not immediately go after the big key, I think. Welcome to you, Conan. I'm doing quite fine, thank you. What is the tournament you're practicing for? This is called the main tournament. I assume that's just kind of because it's the tournament that they usually organize for A Link to the Past Randomizer. And that's kind of all it is to it, really. It's just people racing A Link to the Past Randomizer. In a variety of ways, in a sense. I'm grabbing the purple chest here, which, by the way, did you know the purple chest can swim? It's pretty good swimmer too. Which kind of would indicate that the contents of the purple chest are not that heavy. Nothing big in here. Aside from a peace of mind. It's full of helium, it might be. Oh my guess, thank you so much for the raid and the host, and welcome everybody. I hope you're doing well. Good morning, good evening, and good afternoon. Welcome to Zelda Link to the Past Randomized Inverted, which means we mirror from the light world to the dark world with the big red bomb here. Which is very confusing. But that's how it is. Hello. Bomb and nothing. So there's a few chests I can get in here. Specifically, I think this chest coming up has to have the small key in it actually. I'm pretty sure this has a small key in it because we haven't gotten it yet. We have opened up all the other chests and this is the last one that can contain a small key. Oh no, I'm a dingus. I already used the small key on the sewer door, so never mind. That's why I don't have it. But hey, there's the map. I didn't get the map yet, so if I kept track of that one, I could have skipped the last chest there. Yeah, hello, welcome Captain's Losers, welcome to you Vintage Look, welcome anybody else who might have joined us, I hope you're doing well. Key. Also, by the way, if anybody likes Lufia 2, because, I'll be honest, Lufia 2 is one of the best RPGs on the Super Nintendo. Arguably, if it had a bit of a better translation in English, it would be all the way at the top for me. But it's a little bit, odd. Hey look, a big key to this dungeon. And a big key to Scalbert. Oh no. This is not the ones you want to see here. For some reason, picking up a bomb while being on spin speed allows you to go really fast here. Don't know why, just does that. Also, we already did do this over here. So I actually want to go to the Ether Medallion. And we can also check this one item over here in Hookshot Cave. There's one item you actually don't need a hookshot for. So we do this. Also, what I should have done is I should have grabbed the Spike Cave along the way. Because with King of Samaria, it's relatively easy to just run back outside. Also, special to Inverted, you can jump up here. This is not something you can do in other game modes. This is not a quick warp going in from the left there. That's alright. Thank you, fairy. Alright, so now I'm gonna do what I should have done first, and that is going here. We have all the small keys, big keys except for Tower of Hera. So the awkward part is we don't necessarily need the Tower of Hera big key unless the hookshot is up there. So we use King of Burna because while it costs more magic to initiate King of Burna than the keep, it costs less overall. What I'm gonna do here is I'm going to initiate spin speed on the stairs here. So we go fast, and then we just run outside. This is not running outside of the cave is not normally worth it in regular randomizers, because normally you don't want to be over here in the dark world. You can't go anywhere. So you would have to walk all the way back up the ladder, and saving quitting is actually faster most of the time instead of doing that. But in this case, because this is inverted and I literally want to be right here, it's very slightly faster than saving quitting back to the light world. So, why am I doing this? You need to defeat Aghanim in order to have access to the tree at the lumberjacks. Otherwise the lumberjacks are still sawing down the tree until after you defeat Aghanim. That's basically the trigger as to when they're done. And then you can get normally the heart piece. In this case, it's a big key. If it's the big key to Tower of Hera, that is really awkward, because you just need the hookshot in order to circumvent it. If it's the big key to Desert Palace, well, we needed that one anyway, so we needed to do this dungeon here basically no matter what. Oops. Since this is practice, can we point out this? Yes, absolutely. It is asynchronous practice, so technically it is kind of like a race, but it's practice. So yes, please do point out things. If I missed something or forgot something, make sure to let me know. If it happens to be something that would like save me a ton of time, I would just end up not reporting the time for that particular leaderboard. Because I don't think that would be fair, but we'll see. Why did you mark Turtle Rock as Ether when it's Bombus? That's a good question. I probably accidentally pressed my hotkey for it. There's no good answer, but I know I already opened up Turtle Rock, which is actually an interesting point. I could have gotten 2 more items out of Turtle Rock. Whoops. I should have done that before climbing the tower. Oh no. See, this is what I mean with I need practice inverted, because there's so many little things that I should just do. One way or another. Inverted, so Turtle Rock entry medallion rarely matters. It's true. In this case, it would have saved me time going for the front 2 chests, which I should have absolutely done, which I just forgot. But yeah, inverted is one of those weird thingies where Turtle Rock medallion doesn't really matter because you can just jump into the back, actually making Turtle Rock one of the faster dungeons to clear for revisits and double dip. It's really weird. But the funny thing is, I also just ended up opening Turtle Rock before I even had Kina Samaria, which is a mistake too, because... well, since you often don't need to open up the front, I was just wasting time for no reason. I was just an autopilot there. Which autopilot in Turtle Rock is really dangerous, because you can lose a lot of time opening up the lava chest door in a Key Sanity Seed. So here's a question. Is this faster to just run from here? To get to the tree? I guess without a flute, absolutely. Actually, even with a flute, this might still be faster to go through here. This is a screen you never visit in a randomizer. Because you just never need to go there for any reason, except for, I guess, this particular situation. Ow. Alright, moment of truth. Which big key is it? And it's the big key to Tower of Hera. Ouch. Wrong one. Even got... it's just a boss. We go up to Tower of Hera anyways. Because I really feel like... Oh yeah, that's right. That's the weird part. Where we now start in the light world because, you know, it's inverted. After you defeat Agadan. Oopsie. So, now I'm going to do what I should have done earlier, and that is get the front 2 chest to the rock, and right after that we're gonna get into Tower of Hera. Actually don't want to get hit, because it kind of messes up with the spin speed sometimes, and I don't know how it exactly works. I hope this is not hookshot. Well, actually, I hope it's hookshot, that way it's more memorable. Because we know the boss has the item in Tower of Hera. So, if we have hookshot, we never need to get the big key, since we already found 2 regular items in there. Wait, there's 3 items I can get in here. I forgot about this one over here, for some reason. Normally you need to fire rod in order to go to get the ones on the right, but we didn't have in Samaria. Right, that's another item here. Did we get map and compass? We did not get the map and compass. So, one of them is gonna be map and compass, because I think it... I never opened up the big chest. Hold up. Oh. Oh no, I let it stick. I don't have enough time to go through the door without a hookshot if I do this, so I have to make another run. You can actually make it if you realize it soon enough and light the torches there, the first ones, as late as possible, but this one wouldn't have worked. Because I already lit them from above. You needed to light them from down here, and then you have just enough time to go through the door. But, well... that's not how I did it. There's the compass. There's the heart. There's just 2 items remaining in this dungeon. One of them I can get. I actually forgot about the big chest entirely. But because it's inverted, getting to the big chest is actually nice and quick here. Because we go in the light world, and then just hop down. Here. This is Mimic Cave. This does not normally have a drop down. But inverted, there would not be a way to get to Mimic Cave, so they added the drop down there. Wait. I think I should have known that's a small key. Oh no. I wasted a lot of time because now I have to walk all the way back up. Oh no. Oh, that's embarrassing. See, this is another reason. Normally, you don't have to really keep track of the small keys in Total Rock outside of specific instances, but in Inverted, absolutely you need to, because this would save you a lot of time if you realize this was a small key, because the boss can't have any. Not just because it's Ambrosia, but the boss never has any in this. Actually, can the boss have a small key in Inverted? If it's not Ambrosia? Thinking face. I actually don't know. We can also do the front of Swamp Palace. We can get the item on the boss in Palace of Darkness. Which, by the way, I think it's normally called the Darkness Palace, but because you would have DP as the short form for Darkness Palace, as well as Desert Palace, I think that's why they decided to call it Palace of Darkness, and I just stick to it because it makes more sense. Wait. Yeah, no, I need that. Don't open the chest here again. We know it's in the boss. If you're not asking hypothetical... yes, I'm not asking hypothetical. Feel free to answer things because this is practice. I have not much experience in Inverted. I mean, it doesn't matter for the tournament here, for whether it has a small key or not. Big oof. So we have 3 locations we can go still at this point. One is Eastern Palace, one is Palace of Darkness, one is Skullwood's Big Chest. You know, I should probably go Skullwood's Big Chest. That's the wrong place for Skullwood's Big Chest. Shriners can't have a small key because you have to unlock his door. He had a key, you could waste the key so that you can't get to him. In inverted. Can't you always get to every chest no matter what? Without a small key? Or am I making that up now? If in there. I see, I see. Thank you, Fred. Appreciate it. I guess you can't normally get to the lava room chest if you don't have a small key. But if both Trainax and the lava room chest have a small key, wouldn't that work? Also, muscle memory just made me run over here again, by the way. Should pay more attention. Because pedestal is nothing. You find Moogle both endearing and only barely out of place in Elect in the past. Nice. I agree. It fits weirdly well, like just kind of the color scheme, the general palette, it makes a weird amount of sense. And again, if I kept track of small keys in Skullwoods, I would know this isn't an item. Oh no. I'm making so many mistakes in this. Key placement logic always assumes that you'd open the wrong doors first. Right, but that's what I'm saying. Oh, wait, no. Okay, I see now. I see now. Alright, okay. Thank you. So China can never have a small key. Because you could never get to... Yes, okay, that makes all sense. I did the thing again. Normally, if you go to Swamp Palace, you mirror, go inside, drain the water, and go back into the other side. But in inverted, you just go inside here, drain and then mirror. Oh my goodness. It's like the 3rd time I've done this in like 4 seeds of practice. And qualifier. Muscle memory is a thing. There's no other way to pass the small key door lead into training, so there can't be any keys behind it. Right. I was mostly thinking that it could be, in a way, the same as... like the big key chest in Palace of Darkness or the Harmless Hellway chest that just basically give you a key for a key. But because it's a boss, he also has other stuff hidden behind it, so that wouldn't work that way. Now, here's the question. If I get a hook shot... We know the boss has an item. I guess we go and defeat the boss, as long as we still need the palace... there's a palace big key. And the ice rod. Those are the only 2 things we need at this point. don't techno need a hookshot. There's the big key to Desert Palace. Oh boy. But would you really go into the swamp and you know there is a big key? I guess it's a 50-50 at that point, so it was a high chance of not being a useful small key. Big key. Alright, this opens one item on the boss because we know the big chest doesn't have anything. So we can immediately go there after this swamp here. Still need the ice rod though. I argue that I've made at least 10 minutes of mistakes, maybe more so far in this inverted seed. But at the same time, as long as I don't repeat these mistakes, we're gonna be fine. The problem is, unless I tread the same way like 5 or 10 times, I don't tend to remember. So this may or may not apply to mistakes too. It always depends on the severity of the mistakes. Or I guess the consequences. There's a map. Always pre-select the mirror, because that's more efficient for immediately getting out, rather than having to select the mirror after seeing what's in the chest. Also, if you pick up an item, you can actually just walk through the warp portal without actually getting warped. So if it's in the way because you made a mistake, you can do that. Except I didn't make a mistake, I needed to go in there. Man. So focused on, oh yeah, I can do this, that I forget that I shouldn't do this. Hello, and welcome. Fussel friends. But if anybody would like to have Fussel bring more items, feel free to send me items I can put into the folder for Fussel to eat and bring. Marshmallows. Whenever I don't have a hookshot, I kind of struggle to know what I should be selecting instead, because hookshot is just my go-to movement tool, as well as defeating minor enemy tool, as well as just all sorts of useful things, really. Also, just in case I made a mistake, because I made so many already, I'm gonna check the menu here. If I had both map and compass, then there is an item in the big chest, but we only have compass, so there's a map in the big chest. So we don't have to go and check it. At least I kept track of this properly. I should probably have a cheat sheet somewhere that tells me how many small keys are in which dungeon. Because Ice Palace, Skullwoods, and Mystery Mire, I generally just don't know. I know it's more than one. I don't know if it's 2, 3, or 4 though. Would be oddly convenient if all 3 of those had 2 or 3. Alrighty, welcome to this boss. too early. I goofed. Uh-oh. It's... Unless I made another mistake somewhere. It is on the boss in Palace of Darkness, which I was considering going for. And I didn't. Oh well, I mean I had to do this one here anyways. But... last location. Again. Swamp Big Chest? Oh my goodness, did I forget the Swamp Big Chest? I did forget the Swamp Big Chest. You're right. I wouldn't... So thank you. This is practice, so I wouldn't actually have known that I made the mistake. Because normally my brain goes, oh, I don't have the big key yet. But because I had the big key before entering... Yeah, no, Swamp Big Chest could absolutely have the item that we're looking for. Oh my goodness. Ah, this is why I need more practice. I said that like 5 times this run, I need more practice, so this is why we're doing this. Oh boy, thank you, Socket. But hey, we're going for the boss over here anyways, because at this point I'm committed. Swamp Palace doesn't exist anymore. Also, by the way, in the 6 qualifier races I did, twice I mismarked things. One of online, where I actually ended up forfeiting the race because I just had no idea. It ended up that I accidentally marked the hammer pegs and there was the hookshot in there. And the other time was actually the offline redo, where I marked, I think Sick Kid it was, who had something. And I didn't get the item yet. So it was just disaster after disaster. That's the same seed, by the way, that I did a redo, where I accidentally opened the lava room chest, which you really don't want to do in Key Sanity when you only have 3 small keys. Unless you do a death warp and check it later. But I had everything I needed to clear the dungeon, I think. Actually, I didn't. Same difference. Alrighty, welcome to Trinex. It is 17 hits to the mask. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. You can also use 5 bombs. Which, by the way, as a kid I did not know that you need or can use the hammer in order to destroy the mask, so I always use bombs. And I distinctly remember on more than one occasion that I ran out of bombs because I did not know how to increase your maximum capacity size. So I just goofed. Speaking of goofing, it is indeed the swamp chest. Whoops. I mean, look at the bright side. If it's going to be the hookshot in Swamp Palace, we can then get a heart container from the pedestal. You've confirmed we won't be on fire. Well, that's good to know. I hope you're not on fire. That's not good. I can see we're having a grand old time. Yep, something like that. Honestly, if it's just my own mistakes that I know how to correct next time, it's good. Except the big chest is just like... This is one of these cases where if you're doing commentary, you're much more prone to making these mistakes where you just are on autopilot, as opposed to when you're just quiet and actively thinking about the run itself without commentary. But it might also add a little bit of entertainment value. There was a fire, ooh. That's been taken care of. Good to hear. That does not sound like fun. Alrighty, I take bets. What is in this chest? It could be an ice rod, which would allow us to immediately go to Ganon's tower, or it could be a hookshot, which would allow us to check Hookshot Cave. It could be a shovel. It could be... What else could it be? Actually, yeah. Shovel, hookshot, ice rod. Nothing, and you derp somewhere else. I didn't derp. But that is a fair assessment. Shovel to ice rod. It's just straight up ice rod, guys. But that would be a classic move as well, honestly. Nothing, and you derp somewhere else. I mean, the thing is, this time I have people who can actually tell me if I make these mistakes, because I would have probably forgotten about the big chest in Swamp. And then sat around for 10 minutes until I remembered, if I remembered. It's always an option. Oh, definitely always an option. Maybe I should check whether Quick Warp is on the right side. Alrighty, now we can just jump down here. And thanks to me accidentally jumping down the wrong thing, this time I still remembered I need to jump down here. Because I made the mistake jumping down the wrong thing during the actual qualifier race of Inverted. Which is less than ideal. My times ended up still being good enough to qualify for the tournament, but man... I do not want to do 4 races in a day anymore. That's just too many. Ow. If I just kept walking up and take the damage, that would have been so much faster here. Alrighty, Ice Rod. If you dash behind Trinex, you can get 4 attacks in, which is slightly faster because you don't get bonked back as far. By the way, because I have a mana shield, this is slightly laggier than usual. If I were to charge up my sword before, it would be slightly less laggy. Okay. Welcome to Ganon's Tower, which is on the other side of the world, because this is inverted. And it's a hookshot. Oh no. I wanted to practice the bonk. I'm gonna still practice the bonk. I wonder... Wait. Hold up. Okay. Optimization potential here. Let me explain real quick. So what I should have done is I should have gone into the light world and then saved and quit. Because then I would actually be right in front of Ganon's tower in Inverted. So I'm literally going to do that exact thing, even though it's slower right now, just to try and put it into my brain that go light world, because we have defeated Aghanim already. Save and quit. Then we are right here, and we can go into Ganon's tower. Okay. All the little things add up. And all the big things add up too if you make big mistakes. That's the nature of the beast. Alright, we need the big key to Ganon's tower, which I believe is always in Ganon's tower in these settings here, so let's try to find it. There's the shuffle. Let's go and dig up the big key to Ganon's tower. In case you're wondering, that's not how it works. Not in this setting here. At least I think it doesn't. Maybe a mistake. Hey, there's a big key. And look, it's the big key to this dungeon. So we immediately start climbing. Also, we select the regular arrows here because this room is super laggy. And if you shoot silver arrows, the sparkle effect adds even more lag. So this makes this more efficient here. Also, this is my favorite strategy. Just go over here. And then start running. Pretty quick. This room here, technically, I could optimize a bit differently. But this is just what I'm used to, and it works for both regular as well as silver arrows, so I'm just kind of sticking to it. I messed up the movement there, so this is gonna be random whether I can dash through or not. It actually worked. Switch back to regular arrows. This guy loves to go through the center. It just happens to line up that way reasonably often. Back to silvers because there's one of them. Ah, he went to the other side. I usually go slightly to the right of that guy, because he's more likely to jump to the right. Maybe I should just go into center instead. But try to. We have 10 silver arrows, that is enough for defeating the big pig. Oops. Hi, Fairy. Thanks, Fairy. Hello, welcome to you there. Plus 2 hours again. I actually don't even have my timer up right now, so I don't know how long it is, but yes. This is both a long seed, and I made some mistakes here, for sure. I argue it's mostly on me though. But hey, this practice. We're fine. Arrows. Okay, also I'm gonna practice here. I'm gonna do the Molder Monk, or try to anyways. So let's see how this is gonna go. Come up here, buddy. There we go. Now we need you to dodge. And move. Alright, so basically, you can hover across that gap if you don't have a hookshot. Obviously I have a hookshot right now, but in case I didn't. You can hover across that gap. Or you can try to do a very precise strategy for bonking across static. Alright, let me fix that real quick. I should probably just go back to desktop audio instead, because it's really annoying if I have to keep doing this. Especially during races and runs. Thank you, Vintage Look. Okay, that's too slow, it's not gonna work. Is he going to come over here? This might... Oh, this would have worked if I release at the correct time. I actually don't remember the frames. Maybe I should just do this tuning in the practice room instead. Man, I definitely need more practice in this. Okay, I don't know the active frames anymore that I need to look for. Is it the gray? I think it's gray. I probably just not pause buffering properly. Oh, this would have been a good setup if I didn't bounce that awkwardly. Alright, no more bombs, so this would be where... Well, I hope the Wizard's done here, drop bombs type of deal. Or I reset, because I wouldn't have another way across, because I can't really hover. Ah! So I'm gonna probably just use the practice room after this. Alrighty, welcome to Academ 2. Make sure to select the cape if you have it, because sometimes it's very handy to be able to just phase through the orbs in order to bounce them back from an awkward angle, like this one. And it also can help against blue balls he occasionally decides to shoot out, because those could just prevent you from knocking it back anyways, and if you have half magic, might as well. Yeah, those are blue balls. I mean, they are blue and they're spherical shaped, so I'm not sure what else to call them. Also, it's always 6 of them. Alrighty, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 1. I didn't count that right. Did I? I didn't count at all. I did not get it in time. This is probably a sufficient amount. Will Ganon survive? I mean, considering he keeps coming back every random seed, chances are he's just putting a fireworks show on for us and then poos into the backstage. So probably. But practically, in-game lore-wise, no. Not traditionally. He blue-balled me? Well, no he didn't, because I used to keep. I was immune. Also, in case you're wondering, yes, I do know. I'm just not sure how to react to it. Hi. Got a triple. In-game lore-wise, he comes back the next game. True. Alrighty. That was super slow and not good if it was in a race, but for practice purposes, this was great. He was singing the lyrics of I Will Survive. Oh, I see. I don't tend to read because I'm just too focused on trying to execute. That's a smart way to use the Pegasus boost, so you don't have to worry about running into flames when they circle. Yeah, it's kind of tricky to execute, so you get 12 hits in before He goes to the next cycle, which I goofed. But yeah. It makes it relatively easy. I could have also just kept because of half magic, as well as blue potion in the background. It would work out, but again, this is practice, so I was going for the practice thingy of maybe I wouldn't have those things. GG, thank you for the GGs, everybody. By the way, in the randomizer ROM, if you hold the X button, you can speed up the credits. Which is handy. Especially if you have to wait at the end of the credits for races. Minish Cap next. Minish Cap is a good game, but I haven't played through that in many years. So I would probably just want to play through it the normal way first, rather than the random. That was added in at some point. I don't remember when exactly. But initially it used to be an option in the randomizer setting that you needed to enable to have that option. And now it's just in there by default. Alrighty, collection 167 out of 216. And over 2 hours. Normally, a time over 2 hours with such a low collection rate would be kinda terrible. But because practice, that's fine. Alrighty, let's see. Speaking of practice, going to briefly go here. And this is the practice ROM. Unfortunately, not Moogles. I wish it was Moogles, but it largely shouldn't make a difference. So what I can do here in the practice ROM is I can select Cannon's Tower, Moldorm 2. Then we give ourselves bombs, because I kinda need those. And we also select the bombs. I thought I had a different practice ROM at some point where quick swap did work. Oh well. Save, and now we try to do the Molder Monk here. Red, and then when it's grey I think I need... Wait, no, the first frame of the explosion I need to catch. And I advanced too many frames, which is the catch. I remember now. I thought it was at some point where I need to know which bomb state it is, but it's the first frame of the explosion. I just need to try it and frame advance more carefully. It's not gonna work. And he's gonna be too far away, so it's not gonna work. Basically, since Moldorm's movement is so erratic and you can only manipulate it to a certain degree, it's kind of difficult to get this consistent. I think the best I've gotten it at some point was like 1 in 3, where I got it every third try, more or less. But it's been a while, and clearly not 1 in 3 anymore. By the way, Moldorm basically eventually just goes in a straight line towards your position. And that's kind of when I'm trying to hit him once to catch him, but unfortunately it's still very unreliable on how well that's gonna work out. So I want to lure him up here. There's a straight line. There's a straight line again, but I couldn't set up here at all. Straight line, please. There it is. Come on. Straight line now. This is fine. This looks like a good setup. Basically, the idea is I need to hit the head of Moldorm at the exact same frame as the bomb explosion hits me. And I'm gonna get bounced really far. One more frame. Ah, that was 2 frames. And I would get bounced really far if I do it right, basically. The initial hit on Moldorm is basically just to try and set up so he is nearby enough, usually. But it's not technically necessary. If you get lucky enough with his movement, you could just set up the bomb and hope he comes over when the bomb is about to explode here. This is too far. So here, I would release my attack, and the bomb would hit me at the same time, and Moldorm needs to be at the... Oh, we actually did get the bounce, but I was too far away to be able to cross the gap here. I was not prepared. I was scratching my nose there. It's not gonna work. One more frame, there we go. This should work. Ah, no, I was too far away. I didn't cross the gap. You need to be, I guess, slower in order to be able to cross the gap there. Come on, buddy. Yeah, that doesn't work. Wow. By the way, you can do it with a regular sword slash rather than a charge attack, but the timing is much more awkward. Well, that's not gonna work. It's just gonna bonk me down before the bomb explodes. There we go, this is gonna work. So now, so normally what I do in order to undo the select pause box there is I press the B button in order to immediately keep holding the sword, but in this case I'm gonna press the A button to release the sword at the first possible frame. The explosion is gonna hit me, I hit Moldorm, and we jump all the way across here. And I just need to get this reliable enough that I can do it within 10 bombs every time. And then we can also do this room here. Which, because Moldorm is still alive, that bonk thingy is going absolutely crazy. You're not supposed to be able to get over there while he's still alive. Alright then, this is a practice. I'll probably continue practicing this offline rather than doing anything else. But I have a question, everybody. Have you seen Wild Frost? I think it's called Wild Frost or Wilder Frost or something like that. It's a card game. And it looks real neat. By the way, it does not matter where the bomb is as long as it hits you. I didn't buffer properly. As long as the bomb hits you, it does not matter where it is relative to you. The only thing that matters is your position relative to Moldorm's head, in order to get a good bounce. This technically would have worked, but it would have been a really awkward setup. Because I needed to go really low there. It's going the wrong way. Oh no. I was too far away there to hit the head. This can still work if he decides to walk the correct way. Ah, there we go. Managed to get across. The alternative of how people can cross this gap is if they can hover. So the theory of hovering is basically, whenever you start dashing, you have to use smoke puff frames here. And while those smoke puff frames are happening, you cannot fall. Kind of like in Ocarina of Time, I guess, when you swing your sword, you cannot fall. And this is the same with the smoke puff frames. So the idea is, you hold down the A button for long enough, and then you release it for exactly 1 frame, which is 1/60th of a second, by the way, because this is 60 FPS. And then you repress the button. So you effectively have to somehow very precisely, repeatedly, release the button at the exact same interval every time in order to do this. So I could do this a little bit at some point, but it's kind of ridiculously difficult and precise. Normally people do this by just kind of swiping their fingers across the button to just barely release it, but I don't really have my muscle memory at all anymore, so when I try it, I will probably just end up falling. Yeah, kind of like this. It's very difficult, but you can get it a lot more reliable if you're good at it than doing the Moldorm bonk. Unless you have fingers that just don't allow that. Which I imagine a bunch of people do. Don't go too far, buddy. I need the bones. I goofed. This could have maybe worked, I'm not sure. Beef hides a large cask of rum in the food box. Is it really that hidden when it's in the food box? Oh. He's running away. And he bravely ran away. Oh, that's the previous cycle. Yeah, it's too far. This could maybe work. Yes, that just kinda worked somehow. But yeah, this is how Moldorm Bonks works. I'm gonna do it one more time and then we do something else. What would you like to see on the stream, by the way? What do you think could be interesting? Because today I honestly don't really know. I was just doing one run and I'm not sure. Anybody interested in old school RuneScape? Maybe? Yeah. Maybe Wild Frost? How does the Ice Palace Somalia skip work? I can explain on how to do it. I'm not entirely sure how it works on a technical level, but let me try one more bounce and then we go over to Ice Palace. That was one more bounce try, yeah. Okay, let's go to Ice Palace. So here... Basically, let me give myself the Kino Samaria. Alrighty, so here we are. The short version is basically, you trick the game into extending this doorway here further all the way through. I think that's how it works. But how you practically do it is, when you stand in a doorway, you hold down right, and when you sometimes hold down right, you get stuck like this. Like right now, as you can see on the input display up there, I'm just holding down right, I'm doing nothing else. There's specific pixels where this does work and where it doesn't. You can learn these pixels, or you can just keep trying until it works. In this, in the case for me, I just look at the shadow here on the ground, and then I know I need to hold exactly down right from this pixel here. And the way I do this is I slash my sword, because when you're slashing your sword, Link doesn't move for a little bit, and this gives me just enough time to hold down right exactly, because holding down and right at the exact same frame on a D-pad is kind of difficult, so I just slash my sword. Either way, we're holding down right here now, and then I press the Kino Samaria button and release down right at the same time. So Kino Samaria and release. Basically, first Kino Samaria, then you release the button. Then you are like this. The block is right on top of Link. Now what you want to do is you want to hold left for 1 frame, 1/60th of a second. You can assist this by holding left and then immediately pausing with the pause menu or the select menu, or you can also slash the sword for right after 1 frame. So usually the sword slash is what I do, but you just tap left for 1 frame, and then if you did it right, you can hold either left or down, and Link will basically just go through the wall. So once again, hold down right, hope that it works. Kino Samaria, release the D-pad, left for 1 frame. That was actually 2 frames, because the block moved too far, so I know this doesn't work. So what you can do is you can then bring the block back into position, approximately, and then try to hold left for 1 frame again, and then check whether up and down works. So, this is kind of what I do basically here. Just get stuck, Kino Samaria, left for 1 frame, check if it works or not. But basically I usually just check whether it works or not by tapping up. You can also tap down, doesn't matter, up or down. And then if my character is facing to the right, I know it worked, and I can just keep holding and we go through. Also, by the way, my initial setup is holding down out of this doorway here. Because when you hold down or up out of the doorway, it actually makes the Link walk 1 pixel at a time, rather than the 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2 pixel. And this basically gives me a 50-50 chance on average to just hold down and then down right in order to immediately get the setup. So basically I hold down and then down right at a random-ish time, and sometimes I just immediately get the setup here. Left for 1 frame, and we go up. Right again. And there we go. This is kind of how you try to do it. There's also the diver down that you can do in Swamp Palace. Let's see. Water level 1. No, actually I want to have water level 2. So, what I can do in this dungeon here is actually a combination of things. So first of all, if you did not go and pick up the small key under that pot over there on the left side yet, then you wouldn't be able to pick it up easily anymore, unless you do a technique called diver down. Also, you can combine this with a delayed activation of the switch over there. So I place a bomb here, and it's gonna explode. And the game knows that the crystal switch should actually switch state, but the crystal switch is currently not active, so it doesn't actually do anything. So here what I'm gonna do now is I do a method called diver down. For this I do need Cane of Samaria or bombs. Either one works. You can do this with Cane of Samaria or bombs. Cane of Samaria is easier. So, for example, here, you put the Cane of Samaria block somewhere on the ledge here, where it's kind of here, where the Cane of Samaria block just kind of covers this little piece here, this little line. Can be a bit further to the right, a bit further to the left, it doesn't really matter, it doesn't have to be precise. Then you jump into the water, and after just touching the water, you hold down right while jumping in, and then you hold right after you basically touch the water. So then you are in here. Then you hold out your sword and hold up left. And for some reason that just kind of makes you go jump over here, because you basically make your way into the ledge, and that just kind of jumps you down. Also, because we set up the bomb earlier here, the switch now will switch, because the switch is loaded again and it knows that it should switch the state. We can also go and pick up this pot and the key under it. Then we go up, swim back over to the left, and we would be able to continue. So the other method, you can also do this with a bomb, is you want to be having your shadow at the bottom here, 1 pixel away from the bottom like line here. So this line here, you want to be having your shadow 1 pixel away from it. And then you want to stand approximately in front of the ladder. It doesn't have to be that precise either. You just place a bomb and do the exact same thing as before. Also, in this case, you actually want to keep holding your sword before jumping into the water, because otherwise you sometimes get weird pixel alignment issues. Either way, place the bomb, jump in the water, hold down right as you jump, hold right as soon as it releases, and that didn't work. Wait, I did that backwards. I need to release the sword. Okay, I said that wrong. I need to release the sword in order for this to work. So basically, stand in the correct place, release the sword, or release the sword after placing the bomb, doesn't matter. Hold down right, then hold right. And this is gonna put you into the ledge. Sometimes you have to wiggle a little bit in order for this to work properly. And I goofed it again because I moved before releasing the thing. Basically, the bomb is set up in a way where it blasts you exactly over here, and then you can just hold up in order to jump down the ledge and walk at the bottom of the water. There is actually a third method of doing this, but that is specific to the other location where you can do this. And that is water level 3 over here. In this room you go down the stairs, and for the third method you need the Cane of Samaria. You can't just do the same method as previous with the bomb, but in this case I need this Cane of Samaria in order to do the slightly more efficient method, because you don't have to jump into the water for that one. So what you do here is you align yourself with this little ledge here, place the Cane of Samaria block over there, then you just go up against this, press the Cane of Samaria block here, and then from here you want to hold down for 1 frame. You can once again buffer this with a sword, and then up right afterwards. And then you press left, and then you're kind of slightly wedged inside the railing again. Then you just hold out the sword and you do the same thing. So basically, put the Cane of Samaria block somewhere here, go into this little corner here, down for 1 frame, up, left, and then hold up left again. I guess you kind of need to wiggle a little bit. It's not too difficult once you get it, and then you can just jump. Open up the chest, much more efficient than having to go all the way around in order to hit the lever. Alrighty. Anything else? block cancelling. Oh, for... this kind of block cancelling? The movement blocks? Oh, I see. So basically, the short version is, you just spam the mirror button as you are pushing the blocks. And you can only spam the mirror button when you are in not a dungeon that brings you back to the entrance. So, literally just spam the mirror button, and it works. It's not really much more to it, but it is worth noting, this works only on the Japanese 1.0 version of the game. So if you have like a regular English version, you cannot do this, unfortunately. This has been patched in later iterations. So the very original release of the Japanese version has this. Which, by the way, similar case is for... yeah, in case you tried it and it doesn't work. The same case is for the spin speed, where you have a spin charged up and then you dash for 1 frame after you release the spin. Just kind of swipe your thumb, I guess, across the buttons, releasing the B button and immediately pressing the A button. And you know it works when you try to press the B button and Link doesn't swing the sword. Then you can go onto stairs and you go straight up or down off the stairs and you suddenly start zipping all across the place. Basically, this is called spin speed. You can also do this with a hook shot, where you press the hook shot button and the dash button at the same time. You can also cancel it, by the way, by pressing the dash button too. So I press the hookshot button and dash button at the same time. And then I have the same state, where I can just walk onto the stairs, and then let's just zip around all over the place. Which, once again, unfortunately this only works in the Japanese 1.0 version of the game. Also a little fun fact. If you grab a little fishy and bring him over to the water, he's gonna be happy about it and give you a random reward. I actually don't know if it's random in the vanilla version of the game, but we can put fishy in there. He says thank you and gives us 20 rupees. Or you can be extra special, which I didn't know until I saw somebody do it in the enemy randomizer, which is kind of the only part where this is really relevant. You can also... oh, whoops, presets... I kinda goofed. What you can also do is you can bring a fish all the way to the market. Come on. Alrighty, we grab fishy. And we try to bring it to the market. It's kind of slow. And at least in randomizer, there's generally speaking not really much of a reason to ever do this. But it's also kind of fun when you get an opportunity in like enemy randomizer, where all enemies are randomized, and sometimes some enemies turn into fish, flopping around on the ground. Also, these guys are scary. So, by the way, how do you trade a fish with a merchant? Well, Zelda Link to the Past here teaches us that the best way to trade with a merchant is by throwing the fish in their face. Wow. Why did that not throw? Either way, he gives you an assortment of items. 20 rupees, a full magic, a few bombs, arrows, and yeah. It's pretty nice for like an early start into a randomizer state. What else? So this tree has 20 rupees in it. After you defeat Aghanim, it is actually a fairy before you defeat Aghanim. This tree has 5 rupees in it before you defeat Aghanim, and after you defeat Aghanim, it has how did that not work? Okay, after it defeated, I thought it had something else in it, but it just doesn't have the 5 rupees in it. Welcome to Twist of Sanity. Hope you're doing well. Alrighty, let's see. I do believe you can no longer pull on this tree, by the way. After you defeat Aghanim, you can no longer pull here, it doesn't give you items, but you can bonk into the tree, and you find lag. A lot of lag, actually. Yep, that's a thing. Alrighty, also after you defeat Aghanim, and this is something that, how would you even figure this out? Which, to be fair, a lot of these things are, how would you even figure this out? After you defeat Aghanim, and you somehow go back to Eastern Palace over here, you know how the triples basically give you items? Well, now this statue over here, specifically after you defeat Aghanim, gives you items too. It's really weird. And I don't know how anybody ever figures that out. Oh, by the way, similarly, at Turtle Rock entrance, the foot over here of the turtle also gives you items. I think it's interesting. And in case you're curious, Inverted changed it so you can hop down the tail of the turtle, which honestly, unless you knew about it, how would you figure that out in Inverted? But hey. Alright. What else? I think I could use a brick. That's probably the short version. Yeah, I think I'm gonna take a brick, everybody. Because right now, I'm just kind of in the mood where I want to just lean back and relax, and sometimes that's a thing. So let me see who is currently streaming here. Alrighty, everybody. If you'd like to watch my co-op partner, who I play a lot of Terraria with, as well as other co-op games, who's really good at games, Velhard is currently playing the Strawberry Jam for Celeste. Strawberry Jam is, I believe, a pretty massive mod that adds a huge swath of new levels, and apparently it's really good. Which, by the way, Celeste is really good. So if you'd like to watch somebody who's really good at platformers, but not specifically Celeste, check out Velhard. Maybe you enjoy it, maybe not. So thank you so much for watching, thank you so much for listening and for lurking. I hope you had a good day, I hope you had a good time around, and well, hopefully until next time. Take care, and have a good night. Demon Souls? I should play Demon Souls again. Nice, thank you, Tsuko. And have a good time, everybody.